There are many people under the age of 21 who live independently of their parents, right? Why shouldn't those independent young men and women have the same right to bear arms to defend themselves in their home that adults have? Well, Your Honor, according to psychology, a man's rational part of the brain does not fully develop until the age of 25. Furthermore, the age of 21 is typically seen as a time in which a person undergoes a lot of stress and mental issues, as college and searching for careers and jobs can be very stressful. Um, Also, this is a time where a person will most likely be experimenting with drugs or alcohol and be attending parties, as it is a prime time for people to attend college. Wouldn't the Safe Schools Act make a lot more sense if it created exceptions for legally permissible gun-related activities like hunting? Your Honor, if we create exceptions for hunting and other legal activities for the Safe Schools Act, it will create a fault in the system and a fault on its central purpose. As the central purpose is not only to reduce gun violence in schools and to increase protection for students, but it's also to reduce youth gun violence overall throughout the whole entire country. So that's why it should not only be restricted to school zones. If Congress's goal was to reduce gun violence in schools, wouldn't a statute that criminalizes possession of guns on school property be a better, more narrow way to achieve that goal? Your Honor, Congress's goal with this act is not only to reduce possession of weapons in school areas, but to overall reduce the entire issue or crisis that we are facing with youth gun violence throughout the whole entire country. What legal standard should we use to decide the Second Amendment issue in this case? Why should we use that standard? For this case, the Second Amendment issue standard that we should use is that we are not violating the Second Amendment of Mr. Johnson, as his activities do not really relate to the central purpose of the Second Amendment, which is self-defense in one's home. Should history play any part in our analysis of the Second Amendment issue in this case? If so, how? Your Honor, history should play a part in our analysis of the Second Amendment in this case, as the United States have previously created laws and restrictions for young people to obtain and have and be allowed to possess a weapon. So it does make sense that as time progresses, the laws of gun ownership progress too. If we decide to apply any intermediate scrutiny standard to this case, aren't there several factors that would suggest that the statute is too disconnected from its purpose because it's too overbroad? For example, the Safe Schools Act criminalizes possession of guns in the home and possessions for hunting. It also criminalizes the possession of guns that were legally purchased long before the act ever existed. Intermediate scrutiny in this case will not suggest that the statute is too overbroad, as the Safe Schools Act does criminalize ownership of weapons in home and possession during hunting, only if there is no adult supervising or no adult in the house that is over or 25 years old. So a young person is still allowed to have or to use a firearm just under the protection or supervision of somebody else more mature and with more experience. This will not only create a safer environment for the person, her or himself, but also those around him. And that is the central goal of this act.